just speaking on what you said, so the National Building Inspectorate in 2018, that was, about 7 or so years ago, found that out of 14,895 buildings sampled, 4.8% were very dangerous, 72.3% were classified as unsafe, 8.2% were found to be in fair condition, and 14.7% were categorized as safe. So 72.3% classified as unsafe. And maybe that's somewhere to start, because yes, I hear you saying 99% most of the time, and more often than not, there's safety, we don't have collapses. But this report, 72.3%, this was in 2018, I don't know how much it's shifted then, classified as unsafe, kind of begs the question as to why that even, take us back to how then is somebody allowed a contract, what is that whole process? And then 72% unsafe is quite a jarring number.
I'll say 3 things. Number one, that 72% is on the buildings that were audited. Because audit was focusing on areas that were deemed to have unsafe buildings. And they started with the areas that were more densely occupied in terms of buildings, like the Eastlands part of Nairobi, and the parts that have quite dense buildings in terms of population and settlement. Then, of course, they have also gone to other parts of the country in terms of other counties. So that's number one. And the unsafe, second issue about being unsafe there, when you talk about building safety, the first that comes to mind is structural. But building can also be unsafe on the basis of the habitability. It's not habitable. You've heard of a sick building. You live inside, but every time you go inside, you catch a cold. If you're outside, you feel okay. It's strong, it's standing, but it's not healthy or habitable to live in. It's not safe. There is no adequate lighting, there's no adequate ventilation, air circulation, and so on and so forth. That's an unsafe building, because safety here is not just about something falling on you, even making you get sick is being unsafe. But there was also an item there on the issue of dangerous buildings. What percentage was it?
Dangerous.
Very dangerous buildings.
Yes.
It's 4.8%.
Yes, that's what we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Dangerous buildings here now deals with the issues of structural safety. That this one is a candidate of collapse. It can go down anytime. And those ones, for information, majority of them have been taken down to restore safety to the built environment.
Since then, they've been demolished?
Yes, majority have been demolished. And the few that are remaining are still being pursued, because, as you said, you remember the Nyamakema first one, somebody went to court, and you know what happened. So the ones that have not been demolished, there could be some issues here and there to make them not being demolished. But they're still being pursued, so that at the end of the day, we can restore safety to the built environment. Now, lastly, our relationship with the National Building Inspectorate, because we belong to the same state department, one is under a directorate, one is a semi-autonomous, which is NCA. We work collaboratively as a multi-sectoral unit, including not just the two of us, but all the other players, regulators, including the county government, for where we go for those multi-sectoral site inspection visits, including the enforcement unit, which is the National Police Service, including environmental body NEMA, the disaster management unit, name it. Anyone you think that it's a bit advanced, including the engineers' regulatory body, including the architects and quantity surveyors regulatory body, and so on and so forth. We work together closely, and we have a committee that from time to time carries out joint inspection.